Hello travellers, Shaku here and welcome back to another Octopath Traveler Champions of the Continent video. So assuming the new Arena Cup featuring Varkyn will be releasing soon, probably within the next couple of weeks, I thought I'll share my opinions on some characters to consider to help you prepare and take on the Varkyn Cup. Warning though, in this video I will be spoiling the weaknesses for Varkyn and the two ads, but not the fight itself, so if you don't want to get spoiled by this, feel free to check out my other videos on my channel instead. With that said, let's get started. As usual, there will be two ads during the fight, with the first ad being weak to spear, bow, tome and ice, and the second ad being weak to sword, spear, bow and light. As for Varkyn himself, he will be weak to sword, staff and ice. In my opinion, the best characters to bring will be those who can deal sword and ice damage. This is because there will be at least two enemies that will be weak to one of those attack types during the fight at any given time. You could potentially bring spear and bow characters as well, however bear in mind they will kind of become redundant in the later half of the fight, so building a team around sword and ice characters will probably be a good starting point. So starting off with 4-star sword characters, I would consider Sigrid and Trish. Both units have great sword skills with free hit abilities and AoEs, which will help towards breaking shield points on one of the ads and Varkyn himself. Trish also has some self-sustain due to her passive being able to heal herself by doing basic attacks, as well as her ability to heal a single ally, which could potentially be useful during the fight. As for 5-star sword characters, you could consider Fior, Teaklin, Eliza and Edia. With Fior, you are bound to hit those high numbers to help take down Varkyn, whereas Teaklin, Eliza and Edia are options for shield breaking and DPS, but they also have other useful passives and abilities that can help you during the fight, such as self heals, multi-hit abilities, and for Edia, she has the options to tank some hits as she can taunt enemies while raising her defensive stats. Potentially, Corrin can also be an option, as a couple of his skills have high potencies depending if the criteria is met, so he could be a great nuker for your team. Moving on to 4-star ice characters, Helga, Azlight and Lucette are decent options, as they can all deal ice elemental damage. Helga in particular is a good choice because she can self-heal and she also has a 2-hit ice attack, which will be great for the later half of the fight, for shield breaking, as well as her spear options for the two ads. Lucette is also a good option because her weapon type is bow, which is also weak points for the two ads, and she is able to apply physical defense down, which will come in handy for your sword units to deal more damage. And as for Azlight, although her 3-hit ice attack is random target, it will be great for the later half of the fight as well. Another option is to use her as a support, as Azlight's passive gives 20% ice damage up to herself and the ally she is partnered with. As for 5-star ice units, Sophia and Cordona are perfect characters to have in the fight. Sophia, for obvious reasons, is to shield break and do massive damage to Varkyn, and as well as help take down one of the ads. Whereas Cordona will be great throughout the whole encounter with her 3-hit AoE spear, along with her ice attacks, as well as the options to tank and heal. As for healers, I would consider bringing Millard and Ramona because Varkyn is also weak to staff attacks. Millard is a great choice because he can buff your team's magic defense as well as lower a target's attack by 15% with his single target staff attack. Whereas Ramona has an ice AoE to help take down the ad with the ice weakness, as well as Varkyn himself. Along with her AoE heals, her passive can also regen the ally in front of her as well, which can be very useful during the fight. With all that said, of course there are other characters to consider such as Scarecrow and Camilla for shield breaking the ads. On top of that, Gilderoy and Pia are also great options for taking down the ads and tanking damage. And obviously don't forget your buffers and debuffers to help you deal massive damage during the arena fight. Well, that's it for this video. Thanks for watching as always. These are just some of the characters to consider for the upcoming arena. Hopefully you found it helpful, and let me know in the comments below what other characters you are thinking of using for the Varkyn Cup. See you in the next one. Peace!